This is episode number 28 of I Love This Album, and this is going to be the angriest episode ever, I think. I'm not angry personally myself, but I think this album is going to be the angriest album that I've ever talked about in this series. This is Rage Against the Machine, their debut album from 1992, self-titled, called Rage Against the Machine. So there you have it, and those little and come on! Those are going to be featured a lot. I don't know if they're going to be featured at all in this video that I'm talking about, but they're definitely prominent on this album. This album came out, as I said, in 1992. Very angry. This came out at a time, this had nothing to do with those LA riots, the Rodney King riots in 1992. I don't know the timeline, but I do know I got into this album right from the start. I don't know, I can't remember. I'll talk about my little history of the Rage Against the Machine. I can't remember exactly where or how or why I first heard about them, but it was when they were a brand new band when this album first came out, and I have no idea when in 1992, but Rodney King, the LA riots in LA had happened, I guess around that time, and I always associate this album with that time in history, or American history. The Americans love to say American history, but and there's nothing wrong with that. But very, very angry album. And this is maybe something I should say at the end. This album should, or maybe is just as, I don't know about important, but it's aged very, very well. This album sounds both sonically and just in terms of the, I think the message and the whole feeling of this album fits just as well in 2021 as it did in 1992. That's what I think. Very angry album. Very a lot of song. The whole album really is I guess about, I don't know, social injustice and bullshit and things that are wrong in the world. And it's Zack de la Rocha talking about things that make him angry. And I remember I used to talk with my friend about we used to have these stupid arguments that you have when you're young and stupid, or maybe even when you're old and stupid, about who is angrier, Phil Anselmo from Pantera or Zack de la Rocha from Rage Against the Machine. I think the general consensus was it was Phil Anselmo, but maybe Zack de la Rocha is still a pretty angry guy. So I don't have a huge history with Rage Against the Machine. Pretty long, as I said, 1992. I would maybe put this album in the category a little bit later, but it kind of in the same category as I've talked about this before with when I first heard Faith No More, The Real Thing, Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking. Maybe a little bit earlier than that was Soundgarden, Louder Than Love. These were albums that they were all, I've been into heavy music, I guess, all my life. I've mentioned this a million times. I got into Kiss, I got Kiss Alive when I was 6 years old in 1975, and I've always loved kind of aggressive guitar music, and but then around this time, 89 to 92, Louder Than Love, Nothing's Shocking, The Real Thing. That was heavy music, but it wasn't heavy metal. It was different, very, very aggressive, very heavy for sure, but clearly not metal. So that's where I would put Rage Against the Machine, their debut album. I've only seen them once. They weren't around too long. They broke up in, I don't know when it was, 90. I guess their last album, The Battle of Los Angeles, was 99 or 2000, around there. But I only saw them once. I talk about my concert history with these bands. I saw them once in the summer of 93. They were playing Lollapalooza. I was very, very happy to see Rage Against the Machine. They were on Lollapalooza that year, which was maybe not quite as good as the 92 version, but still pretty good. That was also Alice in Chains headlined that, Primus, Babes in Toyland. I think Ice Cube was on that one, Lollapalooza. I don't know. But so that's about it. I don't have a huge history with Rage Against the Machine, but I still love this album as much now as I did back then. As I said, it's aged very, very well. Could be appropriate just as much now as it was back then. I've never had a Rage Against the Machine shirt. I talk sometimes about shirts I've had. I'm trying to think of any kind of attachments I can have to Rage Against the Machine. I can't think of too much. I do remember I had a friend, a guy called Jason Longato in 1992, who was into, I think he was into rap, and Rage Against the Machine had a very strong element of, I don't know if it's rap or hip hop, to be honest. I don't know what the difference is, but I was into, I got into Public Enemy about 1987, I think. 88, maybe around there. I got it, 87, I think. I got a Nation of, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. I was into Ice-T around that same time, and Rage Against the Machine were maybe I would say the is forerunners the right word of the rap rock. Maybe people like to put those together because of the alliterative sense. They both start with R. I know Run DMC did Walk This Way with Aerosmith 5 years before in '87. But my friend Jason Longato was I think into rap, and I remember telling, but he also liked rock, and I remember telling about this amazing band I heard called Rage Against the Machine. So that's my, and I have no idea what that was, sometime in 1992. That's all I remember. So right now I'm going to get to the album, Rage Against the Machine, 1992. Here it is, one more time. And it opens with Bomb Track. Now I remember also, I have a real attachment to this, to Rage Against the Machine, with Natural Born Killers, the Oliver Stone movie from 1994, which is for sure one of my favorite movies ever. If you like lists and numbers, I would maybe even say it's one of my I would go top 5 for sure. I could even say maybe number 3. I like maybe Apocalypse Now, and Taxi Driver is probably number 1, maybe Apocalypse Now 2. Maybe Jaws is around there, 3. Maybe Natural Born Killers might be number 5. I love that movie. And Bomb Track featured prominently in Rage Against the Machine, in Natural Born Killers movie. That had a great little, I don't know if you call it a riff, but and then and that was the first that Zach De La Rocha ever did, at least on record. I'm sure he had done them many times in his life, and that song just explodes. Maybe it's because the song is called Bomb Track, so I think that is subconsciously a bomb exploding. But when that song comes in, very, very explosive bomb track, and it fits great in the movie and Natural Born Killers, and it's a great opening song from this album. Hey yo, it's just another bomb track. Second is Killing in the Name, probably the anthem of the 90s. If you could break it down to break it down. If you could break it down into one song, an anthem for the 90s of angry youths or adults. I was 22 when this album came out, and that was the song that I guess it was, I don't know if it was the summer of 92 or at some point in 92. It seemed that everything was fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And a very simple song. It's some of those that work forces draw the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces draw the same that burn crosses. Those who tried to justified for wearing your bags for your chosen white. Come on! And then fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And it builds and builds and builds, similar to the beginning of the intro of Bomb Track. It builds, the intensity builds, and both lyrically and the vocals are kind of quiet. It's Zach kind of just speaking. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And then when the music comes in, there's no way I could sing like him. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. And just that song was made for a live audience, it seems. And then motherfucker, anthem of the 90s. There it is, right there. The 90s. I think anthems have kind of died in the 90s. Anthems were maybe a 70s and 80s things, but Killing in the Name was a classic 90s song, and amazing because, you know, for all the motherfuckers and fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, it was a pretty big song. You can play that song on the radio, but somehow, I don't think there was a video for it, somehow was on the tip of everybody's tongue. Everybody knew that song in 1992. Take the Power Back, number 3. That was also featured prominently in Natural Born Killers. I think both. I like the movie more because of the music, and I liked the music more because of the movie. It went maybe more than almost any movie. The music and the images in that movie go very, very well together. I'm trying to think of this scene in Take the Power Back. Is that when, I think that's when Woody Harrelson's character, Mickey Knox, is telling a joke? Or is that Bomb Track? No, Bomb Track is when he throws the shotgun to the guy. But it's the teacher stands in front of the class, but the lesson plan he can't recall. The student's eyes perceive the lies bouncing off every fucking wall. His composure is well kept. Maybe he fears playing the fool. And he, I lost my train of thought. Complacent students sit while they listen to that bullshit he learned in school. Is that what it is? Complacent students sit and listen to that bullshit he learned in school. Europe ain't my rope to swim on, etc. Could be a favorite song. I always talk about my favorite song. Take the Power Back. So far is number 1. Settle for Nothing Now. If we don't do Nothing Now, we'll settle for nothing later. Again, a very, very strong song. I'm not sure exactly if there was one specific thing that it was about, but that's a great song also, and also had a big, very, very heavy. And I'll take a minute. This is maybe a good opportunity to put that down and talk about Tom Morello, or maybe just Rage Against the Machine in general. I love Tom Morello. I think he's a fucking awesome guitarist. He plays original. Now I know a lot of metal people hate Tom Morello. I was going to say it in Spanish, Morello. Tom Morello. He definitely doesn't. He's a great guitarist. He's not a shredder. He's not a Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, like metal shredder. But man, what an amazing guitarist! Nobody sounded like Tom Morello. He was very, very unique. When I heard this, the sounds that he got out of a guitar, and I'm not a guitarist, but I thought, man, this guy sounds. I was 22 when this album came out. I thought maybe this was like when people first heard Eddie Van Halen in 1978. I don't want to say that I'm comparing Tom Morello to Eddie Van Halen, but I'm just saying that they're both very, very original. They were both doing something very different than anybody else was doing at the time. But I guess because he doesn't play maybe traditional riffs or metal or something like that, a lot of metalheads really don't like Tom Morello. And also they call him a commie, which I won't even get into that. And Rage Against the Machine had great grooves too. Their songs had amazing grooves. So a little bracket there. Getting back here, track by track. What comes after Settle for Nothing? Bullet in the Head. Doom, 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 doom. Cool bass intro. That was This Time the Bullet Code Rocked You, a yellow ribbon instead of a swastika. Yeah, this time the bullet code rocked you, a yellow ribbon instead of a swastika. Nothing proper about your propaganda. Those are the rules of the set command you. Fools follow rules when the set commands you. They said it was blue when the blood runs red. That's how you got a bullet blasted through your head, blasted through your head, blasted through your head. Yeah, I give a shout out to the Living Dead. And that's another, maybe a little bit similar to, The End is similar to Killing in the Name. It kind of builds a bullet in the head, a bullet in the head. And then screaming, I don't know if I can scream it. Bullet in the head! A bullet in the head! You got a bullet in your fucking head! I apologize for that, but I sometimes get very excited and I just got to get it out. So, and I think there's at least one more song that kind of had that too, that had the kind of quiet and that built up, back up towards the end. Bullet in the Head, maybe that might be my favorite so far. Next, am I going in the right order? Know Your Enemy. That sounds like it could be trumpets or something. Know Your Enemy. Maynard Keenan from Tool sings on that song. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that one. I do like that one. Now Wake Up. There's my favorite song. I like Bomb Track, Bullet in the Head, Take the Power Back. I love all those. For sure, Wake Up is my favorite, not just my favorite song on this album. For me, the best Rage Against the Machine song in their catalog. That to me, that had, well, I guess you could say this about a lot of their songs, but it had all the elements of what I loved about the Rage Against the Machine. Let me get a grip here. Although you try to discredit, you still never read it. The needle I'll thread it. Radically poetic, standing with the fury that they had in '66, and like he double on mad, still knee deep in the system. Shit, Hoover, he was a body remover. I give you a dose, but it could never come close to a rage built up inside of me. Fist in the air in the land of hypocrisy. Movements come and movements go. Movements cease. Leaders speak when their heads are flown. Because all these punks got bullets in their head. What? Departments of police? What? The judges? The feds? Militant work, keeping people calm. You know, they went after King when he spoke out on Vietnam. He turned the power to the have-nots, and then came a shot. I gotta keep going. I don't want to lose it. I'm so not an entertainer. Yeah. With poetry in my mind, I flex. I flip like the Wilson. Vocals never lacking that finesse. What I gotta do to wake you up, to shake you up, to break the structure up. Because blood still flows in the gutter. I'm like taking photos. Mad Boy kicks him in the shutter. Step and move and stick and groove like I was Cassius. With the stutter, step upon the left upon the fascist. Several federal. I'm losing it here. Several federal men who pulled schemes on the dream and put it to an end. You better beware with retribution, with my war. I'm 2020 vision and murals with metaphors. Militant work, keeping people calm. You know they we know they murdered X and tried to blame it on Islam. He turned the power to the have-nots, and then came a shot. Something like that. Networks at work, keeping people calm. Networks at work, keeping people calm. I've lost my train of thought, and I've totally fucked this up. But that Wake Up, and that's another one that has similar to Killing in the Name and Bullet in the Head. That then has that kind of has a slow build up, and then just screaming. Zach is screaming, "Wake up!" So that's my favorite song right there, and I apologize for the fuck ups and for the bad. It's not singing, but whatever I do, the yelling, I apologize. But that is my favorite song, and I get very excited about it. Next is Fistful of Steel. Slamming, what is it? Stepping into the jam, and I'm slamming like Shaquille. Mad Boy grips the microphone with a fistful of steel. Good song too. They're all good songs. Township Rebellion, rebel and yell. Because people still dwell in hell. Locked in a cell is this locked in a cell. Yeah, the structure in a cell. Sad is the story I tell. And then the last song, Freedom. That's one that has lots of and come on. And that one, that I would say is number 2 of my favorites. After Wake Up is clearly the number 1. Solo. I'm a soloist on a solo list. All live, never on a floppy disk. Inca, Bottle of Ink. Yeah, Inca, Bottle of Ink. Paintings of Rebellion. Drawn up by the thoughts, I think. And then it gets heavy again. I'm getting very excited. It's set up like a deck of cards. They're sending us to early graves. They got all the diamonds. Use a pair of clubs to beat the spades. Brother, did you forget your name? Did you lose it on the wall playing tic-tac-toe? And what's the other good part? Brother, did you forget your name? Did you lose it on the wall playing tic-tac-toe? Yo, check the diagonal. 3 brothers gone. Come on, doesn't that make it 3 in a row? I'm losing my train of thought here. And then Anger is a Gift. And then the song just explodes. Check that out. 3 million gone. Come on, because they're counting backwards to 0. What does the billboard say? Come and play, come and play. Forget about the movement. Anger is a gift. Your anger is a gift. And then explodes. And then this is another one, I would say the third or fourth one that has kind of a quiet part, and then it builds up, similar with Killing in the Name and Bullet in the Head and Wake Up. And then it's it's quiet, and then it's just I was gonna say Zakk Wylde, Zach De La Rocha just screaming freedom, and that's how the album ends. That's a very good song to end the album on. So that's it for Rage Against the Machine. I fucked that up a little bit, but I really, really enjoyed talking about Rage Against the Machine. It's 2021, and maybe Rage Against the Machine doesn't have to be a full-time band. And I should say, I love all the Rage Against the Machine albums. Evil Empire came out in '94, and then they did a covers album, and then the Battle of Los Angeles, I talked about that a little bit, came out in '99. I like all Rage Against the Machine albums. And maybe they don't need to be a full-time band, but it would be good for them to stick their head out every once in a while and say, hey, fuck you, we're still here, and we're going to tell you what we think. They announced a tour last year. They were supposed to play last year in the spring and summer, I think, maybe, or summer and fall last year. Obviously, that was all canceled or postponed. And I guess this is a real testament to how relevant they are. They had been gone for years, and then they came back, announced a tour, and they were playing multiple nights in there were several cities. I think they were playing like maybe New York, LA, Detroit, Chicago, Toronto, I think, where they were playing multiple nights in arenas. And I don't remember them ever playing arenas ever, even back then in 92, 90. Evil Empire, I think, came out in 96, not 94. Even at their, let's say in their peak or back in the day, I don't remember Rage Against the Machine ever being big enough to play arenas, but apparently in 2020 or 2021, they're big enough to play in multiple nights in some arenas. So I think that would be great to have Rage Against the Machine back in society with everything that's going on in recent times, or maybe even longer than that in recent years. Rage Against the Machine would be, for me, very, very welcome back. And I haven't seen them for almost 30 years. Oh, I think Rage Against the Machine, to see them in Mexico City would just be fucking awesome. I think that would be a really, really good show. So I hope that happens. They never announced any Mexico City shows or Mexico shows anywhere. Just some US and Canadian dates. But that's it about Rage Against the Machine 1992. I don't know what else to say except that I fucking love Rage Against the Machine's debut album. Yes, there you go.